Okay. Hello, and welcome everyone. My name is Genevieve, and I am from Team Anything. I head up our Instagram and TikTok socials, and I am so excited to be here with Warren. He is one of our amazing app creators. He created an amazing product called The Collective. So today on our agenda, we are just going to be chatting with him about what he created, some of his inspiration, as well as kind of what that process was like. So I am going to just have Warren kind of do a quick introduction. Warren, why don't you go ahead and just tell us about yourself and a little bit of an overview of the collective?
Yeah, thank you so much for the intro. So, hi everyone. I'm Warren Harmon. I'm originally from Delaware. I lived in Philly for the last few years, and then I recently moved back to Delaware. I work my day to day as a data technology analyst remotely, which is nice. And I found that I have a bunch of time now to build out some of the ideas that I've been working on for the last year or so. So, I'm building the Collective, which is a social friend making app for women. The target demographic really is women, like post grad age girls, so like 22 to 27. However, women of all ages, 18 plus, are welcome to join and really are encouraged to join. Um, I would say this app itself differs from other friend making apps because I'm really focused on building community, creating a brand, and sort of just creating the feeling of like FOMO and missing out. And it's something that's really special to me, and really the story behind it is really also inspirational.
I think we would love to hear maybe the story behind it. Do you mind sharing kind of what inspired you to start this app in the collective?
Yeah. So I really love this question, and I do love talking about it with people because it's something that's so real and so authentic. My girlfriend at the time, she was really struggling to make friends in her early 20s, and we had numerous conversations about how she felt as though she didn't really have like a solid group of girls that she could call her best friends. She didn't know who her bridesmaids were going to be. So that led me to thinking like, hey, like this doesn't really feel right. Like I have a decent amount of friends and I'm always inviting my girlfriend to friends, but she sort of just felt like the floater friend. So the friend that was always around, but never really anyone's go to or anyone's first invite. And I don't think anyone wants to see their partner feeling down or feeling left out or even feeling unwanted. So I really sat down and this idea just struck me. And I was like, I have to do this. And this is something I'm so passionate about and it's so close to me. So this was really like my first call to action.
I love that. And obviously, this is, taking on building an app is a huge undertaking. Can you talk about maybe what it was like to actually build? Can you say, was this your first app? And if it
Yeah.
was, okay, it was. So, what
Yeah.
was it like building your first app? Was that intimidating for you? Can you talk about that process a little bit?
Yeah, so it actually was scary at first. I was scrolling on Twitter one day and I came across anything and there was a post about a hackathon. And I grew up like loving computers and comp sci engineering things. So I obviously heard of hackathons. The difference between this and other hackathons that it was all vibe coding. And I actually hadn't done much vibe coding previous to using the anything tool, but I always had great ideas. And more so, I think what really led me to building this app was just the idea of like, okay, well, I have this idea. I know my girlfriend's struggling to make friends and I want to help her make friends. And anything at the same time of us talking about this, like the hackathon just popped up on my screen. So it was like, okay, I meant to do this. So I opened the anything platform. I go in, I'm like, whoa, like it's just a chat box and you can type your ideas in, and then you see your app being built on the screen. And then there's like a mobile phone on the screen where you can see everything happening. So that was really cool and really just so fun. And it was honestly like really addicting. It felt like a game where I'm just like typing and typing and entering more things and seeing more things and more features being built out that I thought was just so cool and so seamless as opposed to like building out something from scratch manually, it taking forever, and then I'm feeling burnt out at the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it was great.
Yeah, it definitely I agree that it feels like very gamified in a way because you can kind of like tweak and you just like write whatever you want and it's so fun to see, what it can create. Okay. Question from one of our viewers. Samuel wants to know how, once the app was created, how did you actually get users on your app?
So I took the path of going through TikTok and Instagram and just posting videos. So I only have like 1,000 followers on my personal TikTok page. However, for some reason, I don't know why, but the TikTok algorithm pushes a lot of my videos out prior to making this app. So then once I decided to make the app and got it out, I just wanted to go on TikTok and just talk about it because I went on TikTok and I actually searched how to make friends in Philly, and a bunch of girls were posting videos on the struggles that they had making friends. And I also saw so many comments on videos of people saying, "Hey, like I live in Philly. Do you want to be friends? Do you want to get coffee?" So I knew that this was a problem and it wasn't really addressed. So I DM'd a bunch of girls on TikTok. I started posting videos. A lot of my videos had like catchy hooks or ways to keep viewers engaged. So that's really how I got my first users, and it's been working great so far. And that's really my main method of getting more users. But I'm fortunate enough now to where word of mouth is starting to be a thing where I'm getting users that way, which is awesome. So
I love that. I think social is so powerful, and obviously nothing is more powerful than word of mouth. That's amazing that that has been so successful for you. Someone else wants to know, can you talk about, how this is different than something like Bumble BFF, which is obviously quite mainstream?
mhm.
Yeah, can you just talk about those differences?
Yeah, so I think the main difference is really trying to build a community within the app. So if you were to think of in college how there's Greek life and sororities, and you always see people wanting to be in a certain sorority or being in any sort of group where they feel connected and have friends, and it's like they have these lifelong friends and people that have the same mindset as them, same interests as them, and such. And I think really building a brand is super important with this app because, like other apps, you can obviously like people, you can message people, make plans, make friends, but you can't really create that human to human connection that is missing in a lot of these apps. And I feel like being a part of something that makes you feel as though you're bigger than yourself, like being a part of something bigger than yourself, it's really important. And that's really the main goal with the collective. So not only making friends, but really just creating a community and sort of just like an overall big friendship.
I love that. Okay, amazing. If you're just joining us, we're here with Warren, who has created the app, The Collective, using anything. It's been so successful, so we're so excited to pick his brain. Another question for you, Warren, is what has been the biggest challenge in building The Collective? What has like stumped you and has been surprising about that?
Um, so actually, like the biggest challenge was just getting started. I think the actual process of building the collective has been so seamless, but getting started is definitely tough for me. It was tough for me and tough for I'm sure a bunch of other people. Like so many of us have ideas that we sit on for a long time, and then like someone else makes the idea, then months later, like it blows up, and you're like, wow, like I have that idea too. But I really think that the main challenge was just getting started for sure.
Totally. It's scary when you're like, I don't know how to code.
It
Like, I'm
is,
not
yeah.
sure exactly, where to begin. Like, if this idea is even good, it's very scary. So I completely hear you on that. Um, was there anything that really surprised you, whether that was building the actual app or when you started to see the app grow with users? Was there a moment that was surprising that you saw maybe the app being used for, or something that kind of surprised or delighted you when you were building the product?
Um, I think something that was surprising to me, definitely in general, was the amount of girls that didn't have a solid group of girlfriends that they could call their best friends.
Mm.
And I think another thing that was really surprising is the amount of people that actually use the app and interact with each other on the app. I think for me, for instance, if I were to go on social media, like I might be on it for a couple seconds and then not go back on it for a couple days or not. But I have users on the app every single day, just interacting with each other, messaging each other, making plans. And I think it's just so powerful and so cool to see people like actually using something that I made. Um, and it's not like I never thought that I couldn't get to that point, but I think just being able to visibly see it and see people in general just interacting is great.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm curious about like your experience in building with anything in particular, as opposed to maybe other vibe coding tools or app building tools. How do you feel like anything has shaped that experience or maybe been different than other tools?
Yeah, so the anything, the output, the design quality of this app and other apps that I've made has just been so amazing. And I feel like I can't tell the difference between the collective versus other like super powerful and super big social media platforms. I think they look just as the collective looks just as clean as some of these other apps. And to have made it with anything and the quickness and efficiency that I did is just really amazing to me. And I still think about it every day. Like I started this a year ago, less than a year ago, and I've gotten to the point where I am now. And anything in general, I feel like the platform in comparison to other tools, like I said, it's just very clean and it doesn't feel like it's AI. Like it doesn't feel like I'm pushing out AI. Like it feels like real, like genuine and authentic products, which is so cool and just so fun.
That it is. It's so exciting to see too. And then when you were building, what was more exciting for you? Was it more fun for you to build that design side of things, or was it more fun for you to actually think through, how you wanted the product to work, all of the features? What was when you think really about the details and the nitty-gritty, what felt the most exciting for you?
I think thinking through all of the features and everything I wanted was very exciting because it was something that I've never done before. And I really had to just sit and go through my own thoughts and write out everything pretty much that was in my mind and filter through like what was a good idea, what was a bad idea, what I could add that would be cool, what would make it unique, and things like that. And then being able to type that into like a little chat box and then see that come to life was just so so exciting for me, and I just really loved it.
Mm, I love that. It's so exciting to like really be able to build from start to finish and then be able to see that finished product.
Yeah,
It's
like
so exciting.
it's amazing.
It is. Someone asks in the chat, what is your advice on getting your app approved by Apple on the first try?
So this app was not approved by Apple on the first try, so I can't give great advice there. I would say it is hard and it's tricky, but I would say just read through the feedback reviews by the Apple reviewer and then try to take care of it. But I would say from firsthand experience that a lot of times when I would like fix something that they said would have to be fixed, then all of a sudden there was something else. But really just, I mean, do your best to pay attention to all the guidelines and such, submit your app, and then just pray that it gets approved. So
Just out of curiosity, Warren, how many tries did it take?
honestly, it probably took me like 15 tries on this app, but I have another app also. The other app took like 40 tries, so I'm super happy that this one took less than that.
I think this is very common that it can take, it takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've also noticed though that I think each reviewer is different, which in the way like where my app has been approved and then I'll like add a new feature and then submit it again and it'll get denied for a feature or for like a guideline not following thing that was never an issue for like the last couple of months. So I'm like, whoa, like how is this an issue now? So it really just depends.
Yeah. Do you have a piece of advice? Like, what is your biggest piece of advice to people who want to create an app?
My biggest piece of advice, I would say if you have an idea, definitely build it. I think we're in a time now where vibe coding and AI is just so powerful, and it's definitely not to the extent that I think it'll reach in the future. But I would say just do hard things in general. That's something that I like to live by. So trying new tasks or like trying a new workout, like trying new food, doing anything different and just really putting yourself out there and not being scared of rejection or failure is really important. So I think I'm at the stage now where it's like, hey, I have these ideas and I just want to build my ideas and whatever happens, happens. But I think as long as you believe that you can do something, then you should be able to achieve it.
Were there any moments where you wanted to kind of give up? You were hitting a wall while you were building the collective. Can you talk about those moments? And then how did you kind of get past that?
No, actually. So it's funny because I sat and thought about this topic recently. I've had plenty of other things in the past where I've had an idea, I would work on it for a couple of months and then stop and just be like, well, this sucks or this is stupid. But I feel like with this idea, what makes it different is that the thought of it not working out hasn't crossed my mind at all. And I think it's so cool because I'm just in a phase now where it's like I understand like things are progressing how they're progressing, but like one day I'm gonna get there and one day I'm gonna get to where I want to get. And I actually watched it's funny. Actually, I watched Cars 3 the other day. Um, there was a scene where like Cruz Ramirez was talking to Lightning McQueen about his first race, and she asked him how he knew that he could do it, and he said he never thought he couldn't. And that is just such like an inspirational like Disney moment for me. And it's like I feel that same way now, where it's like I'm having so much fun doing what I'm doing and just trying new things, and I'm just really embracing the process overall rather than like looking for the end goal immediately.
I think that's amazing. Yeah, it really is about, it is about the process, and like if
Mhm.
you just are so focused on the end goal, you won't enjoy everything that
Yeah.
goes into it. So I think that's such an amazing outlook. Um, we have a question from Daniel Chen who wants to know what is your favorite anything.com feature? And then another side of that is what features do you wish existed on the platform?
Oh, my favorite feature. So I was playing around with the App Store screenshot feature the other day, and I think that is really cool because the screenshots were something that took me a long time to have made or make myself. So I think that is a really cool feature. Something that I would like to see in the future. That's a tough one. I feel like a lot of things I like to see or would want to see, you guys put them out like around the same time that I'm thinking of them, which is funny. Um,
That's great.
yeah. That's a tough one. I think being able to upload a folder would be awesome, or like being able to
Okay.
even connect to like an existing GitHub repository somehow and then bringing that into anything would be really cool for sure.
That's a great idea. I'm going to have to report back to the engineers on that, but that's a really
Yeah.
good idea. I love that. Okay, another question here is how often do you use parallel agents when you build?
Um, I actually don't that often. Well,
Okay.
not now. I don't that often now because the platform's built out. However, like in the beginning, I think I did pretty frequently. But right now, it's not really necessary because I'm not adding that many things at the same time or as frequently as I was in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great to know. Okay, another question for you would be when you think about your life a year ago, when you maybe just had the idea for this, or you had just started to build versus your life now, how would you kind of describe that change? What has changed about your life or your mindset? Can you kind of articulate that for us?
Yeah, I think so. Like the anything platform in general, I think has instilled a completely different type of drive in me that I had a year ago. I think a year ago, I was building things by hand and I thought that I was super motivated. However, looking back, I wasn't as motivated as I am now. And I
Mm,
think just having a platform that gives you the ability to really build out your ideas so quickly, but like not to a point to where you feel stressed or overwhelmed by progress or like lack of progress is really cool. So I think daily now, like I wake up so excited to build. Whereas like a year ago, it's like, oh, like I have to do this, I have to do this. But now I'm like, oh, like I get to do this today. I get to use anything. I get to build out my app. I get to talk to users and things like that. So it's just really so exciting, and I'm just having so much fun.
yeah, absolutely. Do you feel like now, you would not have considered your builder a year ago? You considered yourself a builder a year ago, but now do you feel like this is something that you want to be your whole career, your whole life?
Yeah, I feel so empowered, and I feel like I have like such a purpose now. I found my purpose, which is building this app for girls to make friends and just really like embracing everything that comes along with it. And I definitely like would love to do this full time and just be a builder full time. Like it's so much fun. And when I say so much fun, like I mean so much fun. I can't explain like the joy I feel just every single day being able to build out all my ideas. And I think it's so cool and just so powerful.
Yeah, I think it's so powerful that with and through anything, you found basically a whole career for yourself. Whereas
Yeah,
before, you didn't even consider this a viable option. And now you
right.
have a whole new career path. Okay, I'm seeing a question here from Vento who wants to know what the best idea you've built in anything is. I feel like you're biased and you're going to say the
Yeah.
collective. Do
Yeah,
you
I'm
have something else that you've kind of been messing around with that has been exciting for you?
Yeah, so the best idea I would say is the collective, but another app that I've been building. So imagine like Pinterest, but for saving TikTok videos, like Luma links or Instagram Reels, and it populates into this app where you can automatically like see something saved from TikTok and like make plans with whatever that thing is in the app. And the idea came because in my TikTok favorites, I have like a million videos saved. So there's so many things that I like saved and was like, oh, like this looks fun. Maybe I should go do this one day, or maybe I should go to this bar one day and try this new food, whatever. But I always forget about the videos. So being able to like organize these videos into an app is just really cool. And I also wanted to create a share extension for it. So you can just like share the video from TikTok and then populate it in the app. But right now you just copy the TikTok link and then paste it in the app and it does the same thing. But that app one day is something I'm going to finish building out, but that's really cool too.
Oh, that's very cool. As someone who does social media, I'm very interested. That's so fun.
Yeah.
I'm curious, Warren, where you see the collective going in a year from now. What are your dreams for it? Do you want to expand it?
So I told myself that I want to get to like at least a couple thousand users in every major city across the country, which is a big goal. But I think by a year from now, hopefully I can go like from Philly to another city. I have a couple other cities in mind, but I really just want to make sure Philly is like at a good spot, built out, and have events flowing monthly, have users flowing, and be able to get merch and sell merch to users and things like that. So I think that's really what I'm focused on right now. Just establishing the brand as a whole.
I love that. I love that. Someone is asking us, do you charge users? Is there a payment system?
So there is a payment system set up, and it's similar to other like dating apps, for instance, where you can pay for likes or different filters and features. However, the primary like features of the app you can still use. Like you can still like girls, message girls, and make plans and things like that. But everything there's like a limit on that. I actually just got my first paid user not that long ago, which was exciting. And it's funny, I really didn't know either that I did that. So once I saw that, I was like, oh wow, that was actually pretty cool. But yeah, so you pay for those things. Then you also pay for we haven't began hosting like these monthly events yet, but this summer I'm going to begin hosting monthly events where in the payment for the month that you're paying for, you also would get a ticket for said event. So it's like a monthly event that you're invited to pretty much on top of the other features.
Okay, amazing. Very cool. So there is a sort of like a payment structure there, which is very cool. I'm curious if you have had a moment, in the last year where you've kind of just sat back and it's felt super magical and you felt super proud that you would want to share with the group.
Yeah, so I actually had this idea of doing like a dinner with strangers series that I just started. And with that, it's like I've been picking people from the app to pretty much just meet up and have dinner together. And the first event was like a few weeks ago. And the feedback from that was great. There were tons of girls interested. The video got like thousands of likes on TikTok, tons of comments. And then the girls that I chose girls randomly. They went out to dinner and then told me it was amazing. And now like they're best friends and they hung out again the weekend after. So I think just having that idea and then seeing it be executed and having other people believe in the idea was just really cool. So I sort of just sat back and was like, wow, like this is great. And I really do feel like I'm on to something so special. And it means so much to me. So that was awesome.
That is awesome. That's so cool that that has happened. And I think there's such a special place for your app, because it is so hard as adults to connect. So I think that this is a really cool thing that you've developed. And, last question for you here is what apps do you love? Like what has inspired you when you've been building? Are there any really cool, pieces of UX that you love that you've kind of looked to, or app developers that you love?
So actually I love apps like Hinge, Tinder. Like I love the UI of those apps and they're so simple. And I also love other apps too in general. I guess like Pinterest is an app that I use very frequently and I love it so much. But in general, when I'm looking for inspiration, I think I've curated my Twitter feed now. Like there's like a thing, like I built my feed brick by brick and it's like all these cool app ideas and cool design ideas. And I also use like Dribble to look at other design ideas and things like that. So I'm really just inspired by so many talented designers. And there's just so many things out there that a lot of us haven't seen yet, which is awesome. Like there's tons and tons of apps and designs and talented people. So I really just use anyone as inspiration.
I love that. Everyday life for inspiration is the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah, it really is.
Amazing. Okay, I want to take a second and thank everyone so much for joining us. We are going to be releasing a bit of a short film on Warren's journey of building the collective early next week on our socials. So if you don't follow us, please go ahead and give us a follow on Instagram and TikTok. The handle there is hi.anything. We would love to share more of Warren's journey, our journey here at Anything with you guys. Warren, anything else you want to add?
Thank you so much. I really appreciate coming on here. And I think that this has been awesome. And working with Anything in the team has just been so great. And I'm really just so grateful for everyone here. And I really appreciate it.
Of course, we have loved working with you. Thank you guys for joining us. This has been so wonderful to share with you. And we will see you all next time. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you, Warren.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye, everyone.